YouTube? Welcome back to UniXTCG. And today, before we dive into both treasure cups, we're probably going to have that up tomorrow. Actually, we are going to have that up tomorrow. There's no probably. But before we dive into both treasure cups, I wanted to talk about the homeboy. Had a friend who actually did extremely well at Long Beach. Made it to top 8, was 6 overall in seed with Zoro. The only Zoro to make it to the top cut playoffs, actually. And that is the homie Joshua Towers. So we're going to dive into his list. We are going to talk about his experience. He had a little bit of an interview over with Stage 0. And that was like awesome already. Dude gave a great shout out, and I was like, oh wow, thanks. And now we're gonna have him here to kind of talk about his run. So with that being said, I think what we're gonna do here is have him and me on the screen, and then I'm going to put his deck list beneath it. And yeah, we're gonna have a good time. So outside of that, I do want to say that if you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notifications, and we will be growing from there. We're almost at 4,000. That is crazy enough. Hopefully we can hit 4,000 in the next week before I go to the Treasure Cup, and that'll be a great bit of momentum building into there. And also, if you'd like to figure out how to win a free purple film deck, the link will be in the description for my actual, contest, a little giveaway. And then also, if you want to look at the entire tournament as a whole, please go down and go over to Eggman's Twitch channel. And if you're subscribed, you can actually view the vlog, which is the entire tournament. So that being said, let's hop into the interview. All right, so we are actually here with our special guest. This is like hot off the top 8 finish at the Long Beach Treasure Cup. So I guess I'm just gonna let him introduce himself and talk about what he did this week before we start diving in. So.
Alrighty, man. So my name's Joshua Towers. I live out here in San Diego. I've been playing cards for my whole life, man. I was never an athlete. I use my brain. I'm kind of lazy. You know what I mean? So I played Magic for a long time. Pokemon, Magi Nation, Warlords, you name it, I played it. Dragon Ball, did some pretty good things in Dragon Ball, and that led me to One Piece. And been grinding pretty hard since it came out. I hit 5 locals a week. We've hit a couple 60 plus person tournaments, my team out here. And so we did a lot of grinding, a lot of testing, and everybody on my team ended up playing this Zoro list, 1 to 2 cards different. We had 2 of us in top 32 and 3 of us in top 64. So the deck's proven itself solid. I did manage to dodge Kid all day, which matters. Thank goodness Luffy showed up in big numbers, because it sent all of them to the X1, X2 tables real quick.
That's fair enough. And then when it comes to the Luffy versus Zoro, you're essentially playing a lot of the cards they play, but you're doing it faster. So that's a pretty sweet setup, when one of the only decks that can actually sometimes just put up a card that floodgates you is getting domed by one of your better matchups. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I did lose to the guy who won in top 8. He top decked the right card game 1 and just beat me off the top deck. If you're going to play cards, you better expect somebody to top deck better than you every now and then. We got to get there. RNG happens. Game 2, he slaughtered me, which was sad, because I feel like Luffy is a good matchup for me. And then I would have had Dofi and Law, which are both good matchups for me. So I really kind of punted my free walk into into a finals. But 13 hours of playing, you get gassed, you make mistakes, you start playing sloppy, and that's what you get.
Fair enough. And you'll get another shot at it over in Dallas later this month. So.
Yeah.
Indeed,
yeah, absolutely. I'm showing up with a slabbed Luffy.
He's about to go for it.
I'm just fixing to flex fully blinged out Luffy deck.
Hey, look, we're about it. So when it comes to your Zoro deck, we do have to dive into this. I'll put the picture up on screen soon for everybody to see. But about a month ago, Josh came into my DMs and said, "Dog, I'm pretty sure I just cracked Zoro. And I said, oh? And he's been talking about this list for a bit. Tested out some like a case tournament, did well there, been of course testing it with his team, and I hadn't seen it in action yet until this event. And I gotta say, like, dude delivered. Like tell us about your list. You were going into it in your interview over on the stream, but it looks like it's crazy because looking at it, it's almost like just without the pieces from set 2, you just decided that you were playing set 2 Zoro almost. Like you were like, you know what?
Honestly, that's exactly what I did. I was like, so I'm looking at the Japanese list, going, right, so where are bad really? You know, what is Zoro really not doing what it could be? And it's not going wise, not going low to the ground, playing basically Luffy deck with a Zoro leader and trying to go tall, which makes absolutely no sense coming from a Magic player's perspective. When you're playing goblins, it's play as many dudes as you can, get sideways. Like there's very little thought process early in the game. You're just trying to force misplays. So that was effectively the theory I put in, and came to realize that Chopper is a terrible card if you're trying to rush. Like, I don't want to play cards that aren't aggressive. You know, every card in my deck should either be killing something, swinging for life, or protecting my board so I can just keep swinging face. You know, so we went with the 2-drop centered. One, because it pretty much wins us the red mirror. When you're playing 2-drop 4Ks, their Robin's dead. They're dead. So the initial idea of, okay, cool, it's a red mirror, I need to go first, is playing into my strategy. You know, cool, I want you to go first. I want you to play that dead Robin that isn't going to get you really any value. I mean, what are you going to do? Pop an Otama or a Nami that's already done their job? Or are you going to spin an Otama on a 2K vanilla? Like, you just 2-for-1'd yourself for a card with basically no value.
Yeah, like,
so
makes sense.
You know, so yeah, the Japanese Zoro list really kind of inspired me. And truthfully, I think that I will still stay 2-drop nerd even going into set 2. Because the 1-drop Zoro there, where it's a little bit faster, all of the cards have to be in play to help each other.
That is fair. I think that there is going to be, if set 1 meta has shown us anything, looking at Japan, you have essentially Law feeling like it's tier 0.5. You had Kaido everywhere, Zoro and Luffy everywhere, Blue almost non-existent, and then Kid everywhere. Whereas here, we've seen that pretty much all these decks have a place and the ability to get to the top of a cut. Like Dofi, 3 Dofis in a top cut is just, that's wild. You know, Kaido was very, very much so represented. And I just think that if that shows us anything, it's that when set 2 gets here, once again, we will not be looking at the exact same meta that Japan had. It won't just be Zoro and then Odin, and then you have, like, you know, some Kaidos and Kids running around. Like, we're probably going to see some innovation there. So I think sky's the limit. Looking
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or continue.
I completely agree. You know, I think that the American player base is probably much stronger than the Japanese Asian player base. Not trying to sound conceited or anything, but they generally come up with basic concepts, and then we crack the game wide open when we get it.
Oof, those are fierce words. Those are fierce words.
Well, I mean, watch it. I mean, Dragon Ball, Digimon, they set a meta game, and then we rip it apart.
Hey, like this is gonna be like chronicled. Like when Worlds finally happens for this game, this video is gonna be looked upon. They're gonna be like, let's talk about your list real quick. I'm looking at. There's like it's pretty hefty. I mean, you've got the 4 Otamas, and that makes sense. We've got the 3 Sunnies. Most people would have thought you were playing 4, but no, 3 Sunnies, 4 Namis, a whole full suite, 8 2-drops, 4 VV, 4 Psy. The one that surprises me the most is 4 of the 2-drop Sanji, because in a list like this, he's essentially a 4-drop every time you play him, unless you play him one turn and then don him up another turn.
He's a vanilla. He's just another vanilla, basically, that can replace a board that's been attacked into later on. I mean, as you see with my beat in Kaido, saving that Rush Sanji for the end is what put my last 9 on and finished the game. So he's basically just a vanilla 2K early, and you like playing him on turn 2 over a VV or Psy so you can keep the combo in hand. But late game, he can just be a nail in the coffin.
I can agree with that. That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's why he's there. And we wanted 11 rushers to refill the board to keep pressure.
Got you. Moving on past that, we've got 4 of the 2K Sanjis, 4 of the 2K Brooks, 2 of the 2K Sanji, 2K Usopps, and then we have the film 2K Beppo at 2. So a grand total of
Dude is a
12.
rock star.
Oh, he's a mini Nico.
Rock, bro. Dude, like in anything, like in the law matchup, 6 Nico says get wrecked. You know, I mean, I played 3 laws. 2 of them were steamrolls, and then 1 of them I had to beat through 3 law blockers, 3 beige, and 2 choppers, and still kept him on no field the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, you got the stuff to take through it.
Beppo's a rock star.
I believe that. And then you've got what? 3? Oh, you got 4 of the Zoro, 4 Nico Robin, 3 Rush Luffy's, 3 Jet Pistols. That one's bold for me. That one's bold. And then 1 Diablo Jambe. Okay,
so we went back and forth on the Jet Pistol, and I lost too many games in testing, holding 2 Jet Pistols with no combo power in hand. And in the deck, I'm going to say that like everybody's running 4 Jet Pistols because they're afraid of the kid matchup. Whereas with my build, the Jet Pistol goes to the law. Like you're really not shooting for the Otama kid. You really want to have him in the position where you on curve play Luffy and stare at him in Luffy. You know, and then you've got the Jet Pistol to clear the law, so you can clear the 8-drop with the Luffy and press through with all your remaining attacks. I think most people are way too confident in the 8-drop kid. And so if we make them make enough decisions early and they don't see a turn 2 Neko, they lose. They're too far behind.
And I can feel that too, because literally a lot of people don't understand certain checks, even though we're where we are at the game. The game's only about a month and change old, actually about 2 months old, and some people still don't understand that like you cannot play a 8-drop kid with an untapped Luffy on board. Like you're just asking to lose it the moment you pass turn. And so if you can
will get wrecked.
Like the amount of Bonnies and Rizos you needed to resolve to not stop or to not take that, and even then you're losing a huge chunk of your hand. So it can just be kind of rough. So
right, like, and the 2 Beppos actually really helped that matchup a lot too. Being able to use Beppo to swing into the Bonnies and pop the blockers, like you can clear all their littles with Beppo alone.
No, I can definitely see that one. So we're looking at your list still. Yeah, and I actually appreciate the 3 Rush Luffy, because people have been crapping on me for only playing 3 for a little bit. But I'm like, bro, do you understand how many times as like a red player you will end a game with just 2 of those in your hand after already resolving maybe 1 or 2? Like I don't know.
That's why I lost the Kaido that game 2 on stream, because I'm holding 7 cards in hand and I've got a Luffy, a Zoro, and like, come on, one more combo out of 7 cards, and I 2-0 that Kaido. So yeah, you're gonna run into too many decks, especially when you don't play blockers.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially for Zoro finisher, you don't draw 2 Luffys, you want to draw one and win the game with it.
Yep. It's like sometimes, yeah, against green you might want to see two, one to intimidate, one to do, but most of the time that Luffy is a finisher, and so when you have four of it, it can just like cake up your hand in a bad way, and that's my rationale. Like, so I kind of get that. And then of course you got the one Diablo Jambe. So I would say, despite all this, just because of the floodgatiness of the deck, would you still say that this deck's hardest matchup is Green Kid? Just because they have the ability to sometimes.
Yeah, it's the only true 50-50 that I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're favored in almost every other matchup just because the pressure and the decision making. And this early in the game, the caliber of skill of most players. Not that they're not going to hit that level very soon, but a lot of people just haven't cracked the One Piece mentality. So yeah, I think it's 50-50. I think everything else is at least 60-40 our favor,
Mm-hmm.
if not almost free.
Almost free.
Luffy is a little bit tougher than I originally expected.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do play some of the same cards as you, and I mean they can crack you. They can. Definitely the better red deck to take into a best of 3 is Luffy.
Yeah, I can see that.
I feel like you're safer playing Luffy. If you, I mean, like I said in my interview on stream, like if you're not willing to go in and gamble, high roll this deck, just like people going in gambling high roll in Kaido,
Mm-hmm.
don't play it. Don't play it, because you have to go in with the confidence of you're fixing to go in here 9-0 everybody. You're not going to lose. You're not going to drop games. You're going to see your pieces. You're going to get lucky. You're going to get the jet pistol out of life when you need it. You're going to top deck. And if all those stars don't align with this deck in a day, you're going to be just like the other Kaido players that RNG'd their way to, 35th, 36th place and just out of the prizes.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. It's kind of, I was kind of breaking this down. This is going to be part of another video in the future, probably tomorrow, but it really does kind of feel like with Luffy, it's interesting because just the way it's constructed and the way it's a bit more mid-range, it gives it an edge against Kid. But because it's still at its core a red deck, you're still going into Kaido matchups being able to press them like a red deck would. You're still going into Dofi matchups being able to press them like a red deck would. So like in a best of 3, and like just in a format where you think there's just a lot of Kid, which it's the most represented deck, Luffy is kind of showing its legs off right now. It's kind of wild.
Oh, and I mean, in all reality, dude, it had the best conversion rate. 55 players with 6 making top 16.
Yes.
That's insane. And the thing that I can say from the 3 treasure cups that just happened, it is 100% proven that Kid is not the best deck.
I think Kid's the most consistent deck, but best deck is rough.
Honestly, guys, for me, and my suggestion to anybody out there playing is that now that you really see there's no such thing as a best deck, there's a better skilled player or a more focused on the deck they're playing. I don't care if you're taking red, green Luffy or King. Love your deck. Know your deck. Be proud of your deck and confident. If you go in there thinking, I'm playing, meh, you're going to get a meh result. Go in there knowing you're going to win. I mean, it's like I told Chris 2 days ago that I was taking Luffy home. I told this man in our chat, Everybody's sleeping on this Zoro list. Everybody was skeptical that I've talked to because I didn't see it in action. I got second place at a Manga Shanks tournament out here at Top Choice Games, and that was with just the brick and mortar shell. Then we actually got into testing it, and you know, don't sleep on what you love, man. If you believe in it, take it, do it. You know, I was a believer in Zoro from the get go a month and a half ago. I done had so many people laugh in my face, and hey, who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? That's all I gotta say. And for the stream haters out there, when y'all have played 13 games all day long and aren't side seat driving watching both hands, y'all need to be quiet, man. Y'all need to be quiet. Quit hating.
I mean, that's one of the things people do. If you're able to comment on somebody's play on stream and during Top Cut, chances are you are not in Top Cut. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to comment. But everybody's able to kind of be like an armchair expert, and that is what it is.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, it's real easy to win the game when you have 100% of all the information on both sides.
true enough.
You know, and yeah, I played sloppy on stream. It happens. I've been there for 13 hours. Nobody plays perfect.
And yeah, I mean, there you guys
So,
have it.
stream
Though.
haters, stop it. Stop hating.
No, I mean, it all comes around. If they ever get on screen and they make a mistake, it'll all come around. But if they never make it on stream, then they don't even get far enough to make the same mistake. So, look, it is what it is. But I just wanted to get this one up here because pretty cool feat. One of the first 2 treasure cups, and this man is the only Zoro to make the Top Cut playoff, if I'm not mistaken, in Long Beach.
Yeah.
Only one Zoro.
Only one to make top 16. Only one to make top 8. Out of 89 of us that showed up. So conversion rate was terrible for us Zoro players. I'm sorry, conversion rate's awful. But I do, man. I want to thank you a lot. Our talks and your skepticism and some of my choices actually led me to really lines of play. The little bit of coaching that you and I went through, theory crafting, deck building. I want everybody to know out there, it doesn't matter what level of player you are. I came in a pretty good card player, and this man here still put more in my head that I wasn't thinking about. I got a good play test group. So it doesn't matter what level you are, hit this man up. He's going to make you a better player. You want to win locals? He'll get you there. You want to theory craft? You're already a good player. Maybe he's going to crack something that you don't see. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that money's well spent. Hit this man up.
Thank you. And I am looking forward to seeing you work the magic in Dallas, and we may even cross paths on the table. So this is going to be pretty intense. I'm digging it.
Right. Kid, bro, don't do it. Don't do it.
When you flex with the slabbed Luffy, that's gonna be intimidating right there. That's Conqueror's hockey. That's literally Conqueror's.
Oh yeah, bro. All the way, the whole deck. I just want to go in there and be that guy. Like, yeah, that's right. If I lose, I still played with a $6,000 deck. Who cares?
Is what it is. So yeah, thank you for coming on the channel. Thank you guys for watching. There's gonna be more Treasure Cup coverage, and yeah, that's actually just where we're gonna go. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned for all this stuff. If you're going to Miami, I will see you guys there. And once again, congratulations to your top 8 finish at Long Beach, man.
Man, appreciate it, brother, and good luck in Miami, and we'll see you in Dallas.
Excellent. All right, guys. Later.
All right. Take care, guys.